If the grade 4 means that the entire iris is getting illuminated. So if the entire iris is getting illuminated, it means that the iris is well placed deeply and the AC is deep. So this is a fully illuminated iris and the anterior chamber is deep, and this is called grade 4 anterior chamber. Now in grade 3 anterior chamber, what happens is about more than 2/3 of the iris is illuminated, and in grade 2 about 1/3 to 2/3 of the iris is illuminated, and in grade 1 you can see only this amount of the iris is illuminated, the rest is entirely shadow, and the reason is that it's a very shallow anterior chamber. The iris is placed like this, so when you put torchlight and you put light, only this part is getting illuminated and the remaining is entirely shadow of the anteriorly placed iris. So this is called the pen torch method, and this is how you grade based on your pen torch method. So sometimes you don't need a slit lamp, you don't need advanced gonioscopy or anterior segment OCT to tell about the shallowness of the anterior chamber. A simple examination with a torchlight also can tell you the depth of the anterior chamber. Next is the von Herick's method. So what is this von Herick's method? In von Herick's method, basically it is a qualitative method of assessment of the anterior chamber depth by using the slit lamp biomicroscope. Now in the slit lamp, as I told you, there is an observation system and then there's an illumination system. The illumination system and the observation system should be placed at an angle of 60 degrees. That means the patient, you look straight ahead into the patient eye, but the illumination will be at 60 degrees from the observation, okay, and then you project a vertical beam like this, so of the slit lamp. This vertical beam, where is it projected? It is projected just within the corneal side of the limbus, so it is placed temporally, and if this is the limbus, you project a beam just there, just inside the limbus. Don't go too centrally, okay. Now after you project the beam just inside the temporal side of the limbus, you will see basically 3 slits, okay, or to be more exact, you'll see 2 slits, okay. The first slit, which is here, is actually the corneal section, okay. It will tell you about the cornea. Then behind that you will get a black space, and then you get this light or this light beam, and that light beam nothing but it is a scatter which is coming from the iris. So the light which is getting reflected from the iris will project like a yellow colored beam. Now there will be an empty space between this corneal section and this scatter off from the iris, and that optical section, black section, is nothing but your anterior chamber. Now in the von Herick's technique, what you do is you will compare the first optical section, that is the corneal thickness, with this empty space, okay, and this will give you the peripheral anterior chamber depth, which is also referred to as the PACD. Okay, so in von Herick's, you compare the size of this optical section width on the cornea to the gap between the section and the reflection of the iris, and based on how thick or thin this PACD is in relation to the corneal thickness, you will grade the angle. So if you can see in this first picture, let's see, this is the corneal section and this one is the reflected light which is coming from the iris. In between them you can see this empty space, okay, this is the anterior chamber. So how much according to you roughly is that thickness? Mostly it is compared to this corneal thickness. If you see, this PACD is almost equal to corneal thickness, or you can say it is almost it is greater than almost corneal thickness. So this is definitely a deep angle. Okay, this is a deep angle and it's represented as PACD greater than 1 CT. Now what about this? This also looks almost equal to the corneal thickness, right? Now here it is about half of this slit. So, okay, so if this is your corneal slit and that space between them is almost half of that corneal slit, so PACD in this case is half the corneal slit. Now in some cases it can be even smaller, it can be about 1/4 of the corneal thickness, and sometimes, as shown in this picture, there might be no space at all, and that is referred to as less than, sorry, this is equal to, and this is referred to as the less than 1/4 of the corneal thickness. Now whenever you have a PACD or peripheral anterior chamber depth which is almost equal to 1/4 of the corneal thickness or less than 1/4 of the corneal thickness, it is definitely a very dangerous angle. It is advised that you proceed with gonioscopy in such cases and do not dilate the patient without gonioscopy.